Hey everyone, today we would like to explain about Windows Small Business Server 2011 dashboard. Basically this dashboard or this product is used for small businesses who are comprised of 20 employees, 30 employees, and so on. So guys, if you, for example, let's say for example if I have a company which is 20 employees, they basically they better go for Windows Small Business Server to manage their user accounts, computers that are placed and located inside their enterprises, to manage their data, shared folders from a centralized and easy to use location like Windows Small Business Server. So they don't need to install Windows Server 2012 or 2016 if they have just only 20 employees. For simplifying their tasks, centralizing all of their tasks, going for Windows Small Business Server is better than going for other products like 2016 or 2012 R2. So we will illustrate and explain how to use Windows Small Business Server today. Basically, Windows Small Business Server can be installed on regular Windows XP machine, as you can see in here. If you click on Computers, Properties, make sure before you install this product, you join your computer to a regular domain name or your domain's enterprise. Okay, and make sure to join all of your internal computers to this domain so they can be easily manageable through this dashboard. So this dashboard comprises of easy to navigate and easy to use options and interfaces. So here we can see user interface. In this interface and in this pane we can add users, user accounts, specify rights and privilege for each one, and we can specify passwords, usernames, privilege, rights, access rights, and etc. From this interface we can set up backups for our regular server or for for our current server. We can set up backup and restore. In this folder we can manage, in this server folders pane, we can manage all of the folders that are being shared in my network with my computer clients. Hard drives are the local disks that are mounted on my server. Add-ins, we will talk about it later. So we will get started with users. Basically in this interface you can see the various users that are added into this pane. I can, for example, add user account or view the existing configuration for every user. If I click on this user, and I can, from this context menu, I can remove the user account, change the user account password, or deactivate the account. Instead, we will view the account properties. Here is general information about the user. We can change the level of access. For example, a standard user has only read access. Rather, administrator user has read-write access for folders, and for executables have read-write execute. We can inactivate the user. We can see the shared folders that this user has access to, and we can see the associated permissions on it, remote web access, and computer access. If you go ahead and try to click on add user account in here, let's type lab test, specify the password, we will specify here standard user or administrator user. We'll leave it as a standard user. Here we specify the permissions that this user will have on those shared folders. Click on next, and if you want to specify that users has the ability to remote access to this server, we can click on this, tick this button or tick this radio button and click on create an account. So if you click on one of them, we can see here various options like the ones we saw when you click on, you right click on and view the context menu. If we go to computers and backups, or instead let's go first to server folders and hard drives, we can see in all of the hard drives that I have mounted on this disk or on this server. Okay, if we click on this, we can see the properties in here. We can do all the various troubleshooting options like cleanup, check and repair. We can enable shadow copies for this. If you go to server folders, we can see the various folders that are being shared in my network. For example, every folder of those folders have various options and right access. I can specify right access or right privilege for every user in my enterprise. If I right click on this, I can see the context menu. From this context menu, we can delete this folder, we can move it to another disk. As you can see in here, we can select D or C. We can stop sharing the folder. Instead, we click on view the folder properties. Here is we can put description about the folder. We can see the sharing options. In here, we can specify and define what are the permissions that every user in our enterprise will have on this folder. I can specify read write or read or no access at all. Alright. It's very easy, very easy to use, very simple. I can add another folder to share in my enterprise. For example, if I want to share a new documents or a new product brochures to be viewed by, for example, marketing teams, I can type like product manual. Then we will input a description in here. We can specify the location. Okay, I will leave it as it is. Next. In here we can specify, as you have seen before, the rights and privilege that will be applied on this folder by the various users in my enterprise. And then we click add folder. Okay, now let's go on to computers and backups. In here, guys, you can see that this is my server. I can, from this pane, I can see the various options that I can use to set up my backup. I can schedule my backup to be run in various spots in the day or various points of time in my week, in the week. So let's start and click on backup. Let's try to do a manual backup. Click on next. Click on show all disks that can be used as backup disks. In here, we can see that this is virtual disk I have attached to the machine to be used for backup purposes. I'm going to check on this box and click on next. Here it says that we've selected a hard drive that has not been formatted or it's not ready to use. So if you click on yes, the server will try to format this drive to get it ready for use. So you click on yes. We specify the name, primary, for example. Primary backup disk. Click on next. In here we can see the points of time that we can specify for this backup to be run. You can specify various points, various hours in the day, or you can specify twice a day. Okay, first backup, for example, on 12 p.m. and the second backup on 11 p.m. We will leave it as it is and continue. Here guys, we can specify what are the folders, what are the information, what are the directories that we would like to back up to this disk. Click on next and apply settings. So here you will wait a bit for the backup to be completed. Clicking on close will finish the backup tasks. If I right click on view the server properties, I can see general information about this server, and it shows me that there are no backups available because I haven't run any backup yet. I have just scheduled the backup tasks to be run at certain times. I can click on restore files or folders for the server. For example, if I go to computer, let's check first if the server has backed up. It doesn't seem so. I click on OK. So before restoring files, we will try to do the OK. Now, in the previous option, it has got the server, the disk ready for doing backup. So I'm going to click on next, next, the same step, click on next. OK. It's going to reinforce the settings and doing backup. OK. If I click on restore files, OK. So basically, guys, before the backup haven't started yet, I'm gonna tell you that this option, we can't do this option right now. So in this option, we can see how we can restore files from the backups that have been done by clicking on this option. Other things to mention is server settings. We can here change or define what are these language settings, region settings. You can manage your updates for your server, and you can manage your remote web access in here. Here it is, you can monitor your server health and see the various alerts and events that the server is trying to tell you about. Okay, for example, this alert is telling me that my server is not connected to the internet, and I have two options down there. I can ignore the alert, leaving the server without any internet access, or I can try to repair the issue. This is a critical alert, and this is an informational alert. So prioritize your options and try to do your own due diligence in dealing with those alerts. For example, this alert, a scheduled cleanup task for a client computer backup didn't finish successfully. This is information alerts. Okay. So that's it, guys. It's very simple to use, easy manageable, and you can use it for your small business rather than installing and dealing with server requirements, dealing with storage issues, and etc. You can install this dashboard and have a nice experience with Windows Small Business Server to manage your own enterprise easily and seamlessly. I hope this tutorial is helpful, and see you.